second only to Chester Cooper and then Brave Davis. And Chester, who's second only to Brave Davis. But they brought Jamie in to ask her, because there's a couple of questions, to ask her if she asks somebody about, or if she put out a statement asking Clay about a particular thing, yes or no. That's what we're wasting police resources on in the Eleuthera. We got murders, we ain't solved yet in the Eleuthera. But this will be wasting police resources on. But that's not the most significant thing. Jamie told me something. Now, I need you to understand what's happening here. Remember now, we're dealing with a crisis with the U.S. government. We're dealing with the crisis with the visas. And the U.S. government has access, as far as I'm aware, to the AS-400. So a lot of people are being denied visas. That's first, the visa has gone up $472. The visa prices have gone up to $472. And then that's the first thing. And secondly, a lot of persons are being denied visas. One of the easiest ways to be denied a visa is to have your name end up in the police system. And so when they report people for silly things such as libel, they are putting their names in the system. Now, Jimmy said something to me that was so troubling that I have to tell it to you. So, Jimmy said it was Sergeant Anderson who questioned her. Sergeant Anderson was the one who called her. Sergeant Anderson was who questioned her. This is last week, Tuesday. And she tells me that Sergeant Anderson was accompanied, when he questioned her, by a senior officer. She doesn't know, she couldn't confirm whether it was Nigel Rule or who it was. But the person in charge, somebody in charge of Anderson was also there. And the person who was in charge of Anderson said to Jamie, don't worry, this is not going into the system. Because remember what I just said to you. When they arrest you, whether for libel, whatever matter, as a matter of fact, they not just arrest you. If you even come in the station, it is documented. But an arrest is absolutely documented. Because remember now, it doesn't. An arrest may not lead to a charge, but an arrest is still an arrest. It is still counted as an arrest. There's nothing that can change the fact that an arrest was effected. Don't mind them. But they told Jamie, this officer who was in charge of Anderson, and I guess Anderson accompanied him, but I don't know, that this arrest would not be entered into the system. That's what they tell Jamie. And I said, Jamie, you should be very concerned about that. Because she was feeling good about it. I said, Jamie, you should be concerned about that. I said, because if they are not entering your arrest into the system, imagine what else they are keeping out of the system. Because everything that happens in any police station in this country should be entered into the system. As a matter of record or whatever, it has to be entered in the system. It has to be documented. So that if something comes up and it needs to be verified that this transpired, you can go back to it. Everything. Especially an arrest. Can you imagine that? Because what if Marvin Pratt's arrest was not entered into the system because Marvin Pratt went into the station and never came back out. Nobody ever saw him. I said, so Jamie, you have to be troubled by this. This has to be concerning for you because it's concerning for me. How the hell they can tell you that your arrest is not going to be entered into the system? That ain't troubling for you?